check, check.
Perfect. Perfect. Jay?
Yo.
Okay, sounds good to me. I can hear you fine. I can hear
Beautiful.
you fine. Okay, I'm gonna take these off because it's weird to listen to myself.
I know. Huh? No, it would be.
Yeah.
No, it is, but that's what I think we should do that one day.
We know we have to do it. You're right about the latency part, because what happens is, say if I say it and then I'm hearing myself after, then it's tripping me out. But if I'm hearing it right on time,
I hear it echo right now. Oh, it's coming out of here.
oh, it's coming out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn that off. But yeah,
Did we start yet?
it's recording. It's recording.
No, you can edit anyway.
Yeah. No worries. But yeah, so yesterday we did a different type of episode. Did it in the dark with some lights, some theatrics, but also really touched on some deep, experiences both of you gentlemen had. So like, how you guys feeling about it? I know you guys talk like 6 a.m. There's a transition period coming for Thrive Talks. That's what I'm hearing through the grapevine.
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, it was nice to release, especially when you don't know you needed that, I think a lot of the time you spend, bottling all these thoughts up and tormenting yourself with what ifs and, what if I did this? What if I did that? What if I checked this first? You go through that shit and it kind of torments you. And when you just keep it inside, it can destroy you. So, I'm just grateful to have the ability to be in a position where I can speak on this with a couple of people. And like I mentioned yesterday, you're the only two that I can talk about stuff like this, with. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think it's such a key thing for a human to have on this planet. And so I feel good about it.
Yeah. But
we were talking early in the morning because we were like, yo, that was big. Mm-hmm. Like, we gotta handle with care. like a fragile package. We gotta handle that shit with care. So what are your thoughts on that, bro?
No, I think it was great, man. I think it's hard, man. As men to be vulnerable, to share your internal thoughts and feelings. It's extremely hard. And I woke up and I was like, hey, maybe I should never did that. In a way, right? In a way, right?
Yeah.
Because it's almost trying to revert back to who you were.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's scary,
right? It's scary, right?
It's funny you mentioned that. I felt the same thing.
And it's trying to say, you know what? No, I had to do this for someone out there that's just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I spoke to a student that's entering the program, and she was just telling me a lot of things that was going on in her life, and saying how it's hard for her to talk to anybody. Whether it's talking to her parents or friends or anybody about the situation. And I asked her, why did you let it out to me? And she just says that she needed to. So I think in life, a lot of times we need this. Like I was expressing to her, it's all right to cry, because she looked at crying as a weakness as well. And I said, it's okay, man. It's just like you sweat. When you're working out, you sweat, you release. And crying's the same thing. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't say, okay, I'm not a man now because I've cried. No, that's normal. That's normal. That's natural. And it's almost unnatural not to. And, when I was speaking to her, I was like, that's why in life we have plenty of emotions. We have anger. We have sadness. We have excitement. We have, you could be anxious. You have joy. Like all those things are required. And if they weren't necessary, why would we have them all? So, yeah, man, like it was, and I woke up today in the morning, I was like, wow, I can't believe I kind of did that in a way. And I was like, And then I thought, it's like, you know what? Yeah, it's for the the better.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
It's the
At least you
better
didn't do it alone.
Yeah, we definitely did it in the and I feel like it's for everyone else, but it's even for you to even like show yourself like I can go there,
Yeah.
you know, and without overthinking it,
Yeah.
or without thinking I got to protect myself now that I have been vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna use this information
Yeah.
the right way, the wrong way? You don't know people's intentions, so
For sure.
yeah,
To be
it's scary.
honest, I waited years to say everything I said yesterday.
Wow.
Years.
Wow.
Because you got to remember, like when they put you through the ringer, they look like they try to like build like this image of you,
Right.
and it can get stupid, and you know at times you actually start to almost consider like, hey, maybe like am I capable of maybe making a mistake? You just question yourself, and it's like once you get the validation, you're like, how dare you? You instantly like, how dare you question me? And anybody that did, I already know where you at. Like I'm good. I don't need you no more.
But the thing is, you just know who you are. You know, going through
Exactly, and it's important.
you start to realize who you are as a person, and you realize that in order for someone to be vulnerable with me, I have to be vulnerable with them. You know, I can't expect them to be vulnerable to me, and I'm not willing to share.
Right.
So I think it's a huge thing, because as I've been sharing more with others have been more willing to share with me, and knowing that they're not going to be judged. So, I mean, I'm glad I did it because I know it's going to help people. I do know that. I do know that a lot of people are harboring a lot of pain for years, and it might not be death. It may be something else, right? Because who can judge whose pain? We can't judge someone's pain. There's no rating and saying, oh, I got more pain than you and you got less than
Nope.
me, right? A lot of people are going through things. It could be at their job. It could be with their family. It could be a death. It could be just not knowing what to do. You know, all these things are very important to release and to tell other people about you. You know, and one thing that I vowed to do, you know, when I got the diagnosis of cancer, is to show who I am. You know, I wanted to, like, for so many years, I felt like I gave them a little glimpse, but I didn't say the things that I wanted to say when I should have said them.
Yeah.
I didn't say, you know, I love you to people that I loved. And I'm like, why can't I say this? You know, so it was almost a huge thing for me to just to say I love somebody. And even though I loved them, it was a huge thing to say that to even my parent, my mom. And I loved her. So like this is like it's almost opened up a door. You know, it's almost like picking a lock. And now I'm actually able to go into the room again. You know, so
That's amazing.
So it's a huge thing when you're able to overcome something that you didn't know if you could, or trying to overcome something that you wish you didn't go through.
Yeah.
And it's big to go through it. You know, I don't want to spoil what our stuff was. So it was big to go through it.
Tickle their ears real quick.
You know?
No, we do have to tell them, and
Yeah.
we might have to intro this, because what happened was the three of us got together on a regular scheduled recording day. We did the podcast, but it was a very emotional podcast, and we touched some very deep situations for both Andrew and Jermaine, and that got them thinking. And I woke up to a message about a transition. And, you know, Jay, you know, being the coach that he is, said, you know, I feel like this is a moment and the podcast won't be the same this day forward. So we have to attack what we're doing differently, and we can't just rush this episode. So what happened was we got back together, and we're doing another episode, so 2 in 1 week. But this is to let you guys know that a transition is coming and it's here. But we're nurturing the episode that we did record, and it's very vulnerable, so we can present it to you guys the best way, and you know, present us the best way as well. So you know, we're covering all the stops. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's very important to, you know, as you one of these episodes that we went through, you don't just want to just rush in and throw it out there. You don't want to you don't want to drop the ball, like they say. You know, sometimes there's moments. There's moments in life. There's moments when you know what you're supposed to say to the right person at the right time, and you can't miss that moment. And whether it's, you know, putting something out there or just saying something to somebody to encourage them. You know, we all, I believe this in my heart that we all got something to say to somebody, but something's stopping us from saying it. I do believe that. And the question is why? You know, why do we not say what's really on our heart? And what do you lose if you don't say it? You know, that's where it gets to the point. What do you lose when you don't say it?
You said it the best, and I've been quoting it. Well, I've been quoting his Facebook post because the first thing he said was like he does these infographics once in a while, right?
Yeah.
But it said, if you have no communication, you have no relationship, and it's so true. And a lot of us are not communicating because we have a fear of what the other person will say, or have a fear of even revealing ourselves to ourselves. So we're not actually communicating, and then what happens is the relationship ends up suffering. And we end up losing the people that we're actually so close with. I was actually just at Harmon's house, and my cousin Harmon, Jermaine coached him. So I was with his mom, and I was telling him about the episode that we did yesterday, and I was telling him I had to get back and record this one. And when I told them your story, a little bit of it, they're like, what? Like, they had no idea. They had all these interactions with Jermaine and didn't know that he had gone through these traumatic experiences, whether it's mom passing, dad passing, sister passing. Like, these are all major things. And even when it came to the cancer, a lot of people like maybe didn't know, you know? So it's so important that to see someone like Jermaine that is strong, you see him as a strong man, but then coming and seeing the vulnerable side of him allows people that only saw his strength to now also follow his vulnerability. Like, you know what? I can be hard when I need to, but I can cry when I need to too. I'm not afraid of my emotions.
Sure.
And I think that's a very incredible thing. And I believe the same thing for you, Drew.
We were kind of coming from a place of like we kept the people in mind, even though we were in that moment. And by doing that, it directs, you know, you want them to take something from this. It's not just about, you know, venting and stuff, although it was much needed. It's just a lovely, you know, to be in a position where you can encourage others to heal themselves is a truly blessed position to be in. And I don't really know what else to say about what that was special.
And the thing is, I know it's special because it just carries on.
Yeah.
Right? You think, you know, that one incident happened, but then look at me. Like today, I interact with a girl, and she tells me about how she's being vulnerable. She tells me how she's scared to cry. She tells me that she doesn't want anybody to know what's inside her heart. But I understand. You know what I mean? I understand now because by me allowing myself to open up,
Yeah.
has made me feel so much better. And I was expressing that same thought to her and saying, if you open up, you'll feel better too. And she was doing some certain things like she's very good. She can draw. She's very good. And I said, sometimes you may wanna, when you feel that way, draw. You may want to express yourself in some art. You know, she said she's not much of a writer. She came from another country. But I said, why don't you just start journaling and then you'll start writing better. I said, the reason why you like to talk more than write is because you're not confident with your writing. That's all it is. I said, because if you're like to talk, you'll like to write. Mm-hmm. But you just got to work on that. And as you write, your inner true feelings will start to come out. They will. And that's why a lot of times people do journaling. Those thoughts and those disappointments and everything else need to be released. And if I can say anything to anybody's watching, you need to release. And I don't care what form of fashion you do it, whether it's drawing, whether it's writing, whether it's music, whether it's sport. It doesn't matter. You need something to help you go through what you're going through. Because a lot of individuals are in the world, and I see it. And I see it so clear, and it's so scary when I see it. Sometimes I don't even want to see it. I see the pain in some people's eyes from a distance, and I don't know them. But I always know what they're going through. And they just want someone to connect with. Like that girl, she wanted someone to connect with. I didn't know that girl but 1 hour. 1 hour total. And she's already telling me stuff that she would tell nobody.
Wow.
But like I told her, you don't have nothing to worry about. Because what you tell me, I would never tell nobody else unless it's going to harm you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not here to tell your innermost thoughts to the world. Those are something that I don't know what you've seen in me. And but you've seen that I was trustworthy enough to keep those feelings and keep them protected.
And that happened today, right?
That happened today.
So in that same conversation, did you happen to mention what we just?
Yeah,
because it was like the next day, right? So
yeah, and
pretty relevant,
right? But because the thing is too, when you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable to them, they respect that.
Absolutely, and they give you more of what they're feeling too.
Because a conversation is two ways. It's two people communicating. It's not one speaking to one other. It's one sharing the same thought in a different manner to another person.
Right.
So these are like some crazy things. And the one thing I did tell her, I said, she has a story. I said, a lot of the things that you're going through, when you go through them and you get through them, you're going to help somebody else get through theirs. You will. I said the same thing, how you're feeling isolated and alone and sometimes angry because no one understands you. That's the same way your mother feels. You know that. Your mother feels the same way, but she wasn't able to communicate to anybody, just like you're not being able to communicate. So it's years upon years of doing the same thing and not communicating our thoughts and our feelings until it's too late.
Yeah.
And as a man, this is my last point. As a man, we're looked at as we're supposed to be so strong, right? We can't show our feelings. We can't show our emotions until it builds up, and then we snap.
And that's strength, but it's not strength. Strength is actually saying how you feel. That's the strong one. And it's funny you say this too, because when I was talking to my uncle, I was like, why am I feeling so comfortable with him? Like I was asking myself, like, because I know someone else could be sitting there and I don't feel as comfortable and I won't share anything. Because the energy that's like literally coming off of him is an inviting energy. It's like, yo, you're safe here.
Yes.
We talked about this on past podcasts with that Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi signal.
It's true.
And magnet. You said you wanted to be a magnet for people to come and get your insight.
I think what we can take away from this is giving people that space to communicate with the confidential, obviously, but you give them a space to communicate where they feel safe. Like, no, it's okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay, and I will do my best to provide that space so you can communicate, get it off your chest, and then we can all move on from here together. Because let's say Jermaine has a class, or let's go with the class example. And we all have a collective goal, but we have one person not sharing. Now we're all suffering because that person's not sharing. And we need to think of this whole world as a collective classroom. If one participant is not sharing, we're all hurting. And I was saying this to my uncle today. I'm like, his wife, my aunt, but yeah, like we fail to realize that we're all one. Sometimes we get into the competitive mode, or we're like, he's wrong, I'm right, or you want to get superior, you want to feel inferior or superior, whatever that game is. But we fail to realize, no, man, we're all in it together. And I like that classroom example I just gave because it's true. That's the micro, and I'm talking about the macro here. We're all together in as one. So if we can help and provide a space to be vulnerable to our coworkers, to our friends, to our family, to strangers, then you're doing something right. And people are coming out of that more closer connected to who they are. They're walking out of that. She walked out of that conversation with you, Jermaine, closer to who she actually is, because the noise, the static that was going on in her mind, finally she could hit the off switch. She could change the channel.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not, earlier when me and Jay used to hang out, I wasn't there because I was mentally somewhere else. I was hurting, and then Jay gave me the space to speak. And I told him this before, I'll always be so thankful that he gave me that space to speak. Before that, what is it? I'm not even living. I'm there, but I'm not. There's something going on in my mind, in my heart, in my soul that I'm afraid to express. And because I'm afraid to express, I don't get to live. When I don't get to live, we all don't get to live. So I just, I want to say that. That's something beautiful that, Jay, you did, and I'm very thankful that we're able to do that here together. And I know, Drew, with, you do the exact same thing with the coaching or whoever you meet. I know you're going to give them that space because you know how it feels. You know how
just
it feels.
imagine, man. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Just think of this, guys. Just imagine having so many things going on in your life, terrible things, and not being able to say anything. Like, just imagine that, right? Where you got to put on a smile, and even though inside you're dying. How do you feel? Like, literally, there's a lot of individuals they got a smile on, but inside they're dead. And all they want to do is live.
Yeah.
And when you release yourself, you're watering that plant. And without that water, you're going to die. I see that all the time because that was me. I was walking around and sometimes people had no idea what I was going through. None. Oh, yeah, he's good. Not really, but I never could say I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, yeah, I'm good, or I'm all right, I'm straight. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean I'm good. That doesn't mean it at all. So
it means nothing, really.
No, it means nothing. So when people are saying these things, right? They're
just trained to say I'm good.
Yeah, they're just saying these things, but you're like, bro, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not good. Right? And it's okay. It's okay that you're not good.
Yes.
See, that's the thing that people don't realize. When you say you're not good, it's okay that you said you're not good.
You were honest, though.
Yes.
You acknowledged it. That's part of the healing process.
When you say you're not good, that means now we can start trying to do something to make you good instead of always saying it. And I'm like, imagine, bro, I tell people, I said, I get so many visions. And it's almost scary to me. I'll walk down the street, a crowded room, and I can sense when something's not right. I see it in somebody, and it feels like it's me. It's the same way I felt when I was in the hospital. I didn't see me. I seen them. All I seen was them. I seen them with their families. How do their family feel? How do they feel? And I seen it so clearly. I seen it like there was an individual in there that was a scared, maybe a young boy, a scared young girl. And they're adults, but I see the inner child in them and what occurred. And it scares the hell out of me a lot of times. But I know that's what allows me to connect with people on a whole different level. They will open up to me. And I never say, open up to me. I never say, yo, no, tell me what's going on. I don't ever say that. But they just start telling me. And when they tell me, I drop everything to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not distracted at all. I'm listening to them like this is life and death, because in their eyes, it is life and death. That's how serious it is. This girl told me some certain things that it hurt my heart, because I realized not only I have pain, there's a lot of people out here that have the same damn pain too. But I'm lucky and fortunate enough that I can talk to somebody. And all I do is I feel bad for the people that can't. I feel bad for the person that's going through stuff. And I don't feel so bad that they're going through it. I feel more bad that they don't have anybody to help them get through it. That's where I feel bad. So it's very, very important when someone is crying out to you that you listen. Mm-hmm. When someone's calling and they're saying, I need to talk, take it seriously because they trusted you enough to say, I need to talk. And that's huge because what if they don't talk? Mm-hmm. What's happening inside? What is the destruction that's going inside you when you went through these things, but you never released them? Terrible things. You know what I mean? Whether it's your health that's going to deteriorate, whether it's you withdrawing from friends and isolating yourself because you don't know what to do. Wherever you go, you feel that you're not in the room. You're in a room full of people, but how bad would it suck if no one understood you? Mm. You know, so it's not about how many people are around you. Mm-hmm. It's how many people that understand you.
You can be in a room full of people and still feel alone.
And that's the sad thing. How many people are in a room,
most of my life,
in a room, pretending to be happy, to pretend to be, you know, not sad, not hurt, no nothing, because you got to live up to an image. But inside, you're just a scared, hurt, pained individual that can't share it with the people that are supposedly the closest with you.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want for nobody in this world. I do not want that.
Did you always feel like this? Like from when you were a kid, you obviously had a good family as far as your mom raised you really well. You had your sister with you. Did you always feel that? I know you always spoke to your family and you guys always conversated. You sat down with your grandpa. You sat down with everybody, always having a conversation. But did you always because what I'm hearing too is like when something is wrong, you feel it in the air.
Feel it.
You can cut the tension with with the knife,
for sure.
You know? And so now you're even more sensitive to that feeling.
Yes, man. Like I've always been sensitive to it. And really, like I go back to grade school, man. You know, when a new kid would come into school and had no friends. I felt that. Like I honestly felt that. I'm like, man, what if that was me? How would that feel? That would suck. You know? And then I felt it even more when my sister passed. And I'm like, because I didn't know what to do. At that time, there was counseling, but that's not what we did. That was looked at like, what are you talking about? Get away from me, man. Mm-hmm. It wasn't looked at, this is what I need to do to express myself. So when they suggested the counseling, it was like, oh, heck no. I'm about to do that. Crazy, right? But then what I started seeing was people coming to me. You know, I remember one guy, one of his close friends committed suicide. And he reached out to me. I was 19 years old. But I knew I had to say something. You know, I knew I had to say something. And sometimes we harbor these things and we keep them. And the only thing about it is when you're so sensitive to other people's feelings, those become yours. It's hard to get rid of them. You know what I mean? Because you've now traveled in their shoes and you felt everything that they felt from the beginning to the end. Like when Drew, you say your story, I felt your story like I was in your shoes. When Big would tell me stuff, I felt that I was then Big. When I was in the cancer clinic, I look across the room and those individuals, I see what's going on. It's the weirdest thing. But I said, you know, right now, I just learned to embrace it now. You know, I learned to just, you know what? Maybe I feel safe to them. Maybe I feel like they feel that they can trust me, and I'm not going to abuse it. I would never abuse your vulnerability, just like I wouldn't want my vulnerability to be abused either. And these things are so important, especially for the men. You know, we got a lot more woman viewers, but for the men, take care of yourself. You know, don't overwhelm yourself. I know we're supposed to be strong, and that is the stigma. We're supposed to be certain things, but we're not.
One thing I'm going to say, info@thrivingsolutions.net is the email. I'll put it in the description as well. If anybody out there has a story they want to share or they want to get something off their chest, or if you request, only at your request, we'll share it in the show and we will share it. We can talk about it with you. We'll be right there with you. You guys can communicate and we'll communicate back. So that's a pathway we're definitely taking, and I'm definitely opening up that route. An email will be listed in the description. And if you have any stories, anonymous or not, you want to be anonymous, say anonymous, and we can do our best to help, or do our best to provide a safe space for you to communicate and get things off your chest.
Feel free to leave comments in the comment section on YouTube and every other platform that we're on.
Right, because this is now the transition.
Yes.
I feel the transition's on its way. I feel that the direction is the direction of the people. I believe it. I believe that while Drew's told his story, I'm telling my story. Everybody at this table is telling a little bit about themselves, that someone else can take this, open up themselves, and tell their story. And they're going to see how much it not only heals them, but it helps others. It's a double, right? When you can heal and help you, there's nothing better than that in the world. So this is going to be something special, just like I witnessed something special yesterday. And it's almost like, man, that was great, but it was,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's just a quantum leap, man.
Right? It's great, but you're not celebrating because it was bad,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's like, that was good, but
You celebrate the strength.
yeah. So, to muster the strength to be vulnerable is a beautiful thing. It's a touching thing. And this is what moves individuals. When we're watching stuff on the news, or we're watching people in war, and we're seeing these people and when they're just getting treated poorly. That's to put it nicely. Imagine that if that was someone you know. See, we never can put ourselves in these shoes of another individual. We never think about that. We think about, I don't know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we never think about, that's us. They are them, and we are them as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't care what human being, if I drive down the street, I don't care if it's a white, black, yellow, green, purple person in need. I'm going to stop.
Me too.
Because that's the human nature. I'm going to stop and I'm going to assist. And this is what we got to start doing. We got to start showing and turning your pain, like I've seen it in my dreams, turning your pain into power. And this is what we have the ability to do. You take that, for example, I used to tell people, I said, the harder they throw the ball, because I was a baseball player, the harder they throw the ball, the farther you can hit it. Right? You need it to come hard.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to rebound even farther. You're going to crack that ball over that fence because it came in hard. So sometimes when your pain comes in hard, that means your power can go even further. And that's a huge thing. Instead of saying pain is going to be always there. No, pain is temporary. It's not permanent. It doesn't hold a residence. It's temporary.
We're redefining pain, actually. Straight up, we are. When I went inside and I told my mom, I was like, yo, listen, this is what happened. She got sad. because she thought only about because she lost her mom. So now she's in her mood. Like, yo, I'm like, no, the strength it took to even share this experience, to even cry, to even let it off your chest. Now that's a beautiful thing. And that's something we should celebrate.
Absolutely.
You know, the pain, we're using pain as a fuel and not letting the pain engulf you in this darkness.
I remember the first time I told a friend about how I felt about my pain and my suffering and the stuff that I've been through. And it was the first time, and I didn't know how to say it. I stumbled. When I finally got it out, the feeling I had was like out of this world. I had like an outer body experience. And I realized, like yesterday, we did that. And although it was real emotional, I woke up today feeling really empowered.
Mm-hmm.
I was full of strength, full of energy. I'm ambitious today. I tackled a bunch of stuff. It's just, I feel like Superman. And you know, that's the thing. It really is power, but it's how you harness it. You have to make sure that you are capitalizing on the opportunity. You said something before. I know you got something to say, bro. You said something before about don't waste the cancer.
Yes.
Which was, it hit me. Looking at something terrible as an opportunity to create power out of thin air. You know, that's the best way to spin it on this universe, because the universe is going to have more things to throw at you, and you got to be ready to catch them. But when you catch them, get ready to throw them back, because if you don't, that's when you start to get crippled, and we can't allow that to happen. We have to empower ourselves with the power that's given to us from the pain. Put it in your tank, like this man said. Put it in the tank. Either way, it's going in the tank.
Man, I remember, and that's great, man. That's great points. I remember, because I was going, when you were saying something about feeling a different way. And I remember being in the hospital when I got diagnosed, and I was in there. And when I started going, that's when I started going on lives. Up until that point, I never would ever do that. Never. I never cared about social media. I never cared about none of that stuff. I started going on there, and I started being vulnerable, and I started sharing. And when I look back at it 3 years ago, it makes me emotional. It's because that's when I became lighter.
Yeah.
I became lighter because I started to drop the baggage. And I started, I remember I told one of my friends, man, I said, I feel like I'm flying.
Flying?
Flying. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm flying right now. I feel like my feet are not on the ground.
This was back then.
Back then. When I was in the hospital walking those laps, I felt like I was flying. Like I was just floating. Because that was the first time in my life that I actually was able to share my emotions. Really share them. Because I was like a closed box before. And you didn't get the key. It didn't matter. You weren't getting it. And that was the first time when I opened the box up and I allowed people to use the jewels that I had inside. And that's when I felt I became powerful.
I feel like this is a whole other topic, but having experienced all that death at a young age, but then you also felt like you couldn't talk to anybody. That's crazy to me, because even the people you did have around, it still felt like, yo, I can't communicate this and I have to keep it in.
That's like putting on an act every day.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's a lot of times I look at my sisters first when my sister passed. And I knew why I didn't want to share it. Because I didn't want anybody else to feel the pain that I was feeling.
Yes, you're the leader.
I didn't want to burden them with my pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted them to have a safe spot where I'm like, you know what, I'm good. That's why I used to think of my mom. I said, I don't care if I'm bad as long as she's good. That's all that mattered to me. And I thought, if I release it, is that helping her? But in turn, was it helping me? So 10, 20 years later, I'm still feeling the initial pain from the start, because I never actually let it go. And that's a hard thing.
Wow. That was locked up since then.
Seriously,
Didn't even touch it.
Yeah, I didn't touch it, man. And the only time and it's weird thing, only time I could tell someone that I loved them is when they were dead.
That's wild.
That's it. When I started speaking, was at funerals. That's when I first started speaking. That's my first time that I went and spoke.
At my mom's funeral.
When someone said, "You want to come up here and say something?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Because I've been holding this back for years upon years and not even saying to my mom how much I loved her or cared for her. But I know I got to do it now. This is the last chance. So I better do it.
Yeah.
And every time I went and spoke, it was out of body experience. I was not there. Just like a lot of times when I speak in other occasions, I don't know what's going on. I just go with it. And usually it's the right thing to say, but I just allow the world just to direct me.
Yeah.
You know, you allow your heart to guide you. Your heart is your GPS. Your heart knows if you're supposed to be around these people, these individuals. Your heart knows, should I share with them because are they worthy enough to share with them? Your heart knows that you're not right. Your mind might say, I'm good, but your heart's saying something different. Mm-hmm. And the heart don't lie. It won't lie at all. You know, that's why your heart, in certain moments, when you're stressed, it beats faster. And in certain moments, it beats slower. You don't control that. Your heart knows what it needs to do. Your heart can feel, oh man, I don't feel comfortable around these people. Feel a little bit stressed. And they're not saying anything, but you could just sense it. So I always go with my senses. I always say, you know what? No, that's not right. Something's not right here. I don't know, but something's not right. So all the individuals out here, I keep stressing it again. I see so many people on Facebook, so many people on social media. But the thing that people don't see, what I see, is the pain behind the person. I see it.
Yeah, and we all got it. You were talking about outer body experience. When I was talking yesterday, there's things I noticed in the room, but I didn't. It's like I saw through them because I wasn't here. I was at my house on Campbell back in 2008. And, I just want to say, the fact that sharing something can actually help someone else makes it all worth it to me. This being able to do this kind of work, this is what makes me proud. That's why I can sleep at night. This is something that fills my cup with plenty of blessings. And I just wanted to chime in on that. Yesterday's episode was so special that we decided we had to handle with care going forward, and we had to come back here very next day and give you something to watch or listen to this week. And we did that because we care. And I just want to get real for a second. This isn't all butterflies and rainbows. Like we go through disputes behind closed doors. We try to battle and get things right. And that's all we want. We just want things to be right. And just before the episode 18 on creativity, me and Bick got into it, but after that, what happened? Greatness. 2 episodes in a row, you know what I'm saying? Or so, well, pretty much, but y'all gonna see, we did that out of pain, but you're gonna understand what power means when it's connected to that very soon.
I love it, man. I love that message, man. And, we're gonna definitely take it to a different level. And the thing is, you know what I'm even excited about? I'm so excited not only of our right ventures.
Right? Yo, you know what's so? I'll tell you. I'm gonna let you finish, Jay. So it's just funny because even this first person shooting, it's sick though. It's sick though. It really is. This is different. This is different. I wish I started recording this right when we started because how I'm gonna do this. But now I'm hitting all the different angles on the thing too. Yeah. This is kind of sick. No, I don't see this anywhere. No.
How you like Drake so much? Right? Play first person shooter. J. Cole while we playing that video right there.
You know what the exciting part is? That we shared ours, but we're going to be here to share others.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm excited about. And I'm excited about when they share theirs, how they're going to feel after they share it.
Beautiful.
They're going to feel so light.
And that's what it is. We want to share what we go through with all of you because it's magic, you know. I just want to point out, I keep getting questioned by people, you know, when can I come on? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? I'm telling y'all, we're cooking. We're busy. And when dinner's ready, we'll let you know. Okay, well, I'm just when dinner's ready, we'll let you know. You'll hear the dinner bell. Ding.
No, but right. So what I've been doing as of late, the last month or so, I've been scavenging the city for stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing, and I got some, not just because I just don't want to hear mine. You know, it gets old after I hear it. Right? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I get it. But I've spoke to some individuals who have some inspiring stories. Certain things that they've went through and overcame that's going to bring pain, some serious power. And these are some of the individuals that motivate me. Right? When I listen to them, I'm getting motivated. And I just want to show their story and present their story properly because I want to handle everybody's story with care because it's not easy to allow your heart to be put on that table. I don't want anybody coming with a hammer and destroying it. We must treat that with care. So the individuals that I've been seeing, they deserve for their story to be heard. And I see us not only now, because we were at the beginning, we told our stories a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's time for us to now start inviting others to tell their story.
You feel like that's the transition?
That's the transition. It's them. It's the people, right? It's us helping them and showing that we're not only going to change us, we're going to change them too. And I want it to be where, just like it was transformations, it stopped being about me. I want to transform everybody in the city. And it's the same thing. I think this is way more powerful. This is not even close to a body image. This is a heart transformation. Now this is huge. This is huge work.
Package coming soon.
It's huge work.
Heart you want a body transformation? That's 2023 because 2024 is heart transformation.
Heart transformation.
You know, we've been crafting behind closed doors. You know, we've been upgrading equipment right underneath our own noses, and you know, we've been talking, like we have a group and we constantly communicate and try to level up, try to get better. We argue, we talk shit. We do whatever we have to do to try to make this better. And, you know, like for me, I started taking this very seriously. So what I do.
No one sees his password.
No, it's all good. But I got a whole, like, just tips for the podcast.
Beautiful.
Just things.
Beautiful.
And I do that. I update it daily. Almost daily. If something pops in my head, gotta stop the car, pull over, put that shit in, keep going. Because I'm trying to upgrade this for the guys that I'm sitting with, but also for the viewers out there.
And the viewers out there, I hope that you see us slowly making progress. And just know in your life you can do it too. I'm not speaking down to you, I'm speaking up to you.
Absolutely.
I want you to feel that you can do anything too. You're not hopeless. You can do it. Take baby steps. I know it seems bad right now because it seemed bad in my life. It seemed horrible. I didn't know how I was going to get through the storm, and I was just hoping it was going to stop raining. I wasn't even thinking about sunny. I was just hoping it just didn't keep raining. I'm like, man, how much more can I take? Can you stop? Like, I can't take no more. Like, seriously, it got to the point where it's like, what now? You know what I mean? What now? So I can get it. The people out there, I get it. I know you're probably going through something. I know you're probably figuring out, man, how can I make this work? Or maybe you think you got it figured out. I don't know.
Right.
But either or, whether it's going through the pain, you got to take it slowly and to get better, to be powerful. Whether it's going to a business and starting at the lower end and then working your way up. Whether it's doing a podcast where at the beginning you might not be that great, but you become better and more comfortable. It all starts with something. And I know for a fact what this started from, I didn't know where it was. I didn't know this was coming like this.
Me neither.
I had no idea, but I knew it was going to be special. That's
Yeah?
one thing I didn't know. I knew it was going to be special, but I didn't know what was going to be special.
Yeah.
No, that's it's funny. It's funny you say that because I was talking about this to my uncle too. I'm like, I just fell into this. I don't know what happened. Like, I truly, because like, it's one day we're just chilling, and next thing you know, Jay goes, "Yeah, jump on live, man." Okay, we jump on live. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this every day. Okay, we'll do it every day. Yeah. Thrive Talks. Yo, Jay, is it cool if we call it Thrive Talks? Yeah, man, it's so
Everything
cool.
was
yeah.
Thrive.
Yeah. Make a group, and now we're what, a few months in, and like I think I was telling my uncle too, probably
I
put
don't
in
even
like
remember when we started.
50, 60 hours. He probably put on the mic.
Oh yeah, for
more,
sure.
more,
More?
guaranteed.
Yeah,
Think
so-
of 30 days straight, and
Yeah.
we were at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours each of those.
Yeah,
So we got to count those two for us. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because that's what gave us the courage to go forward and say, you know what, we can do this.
And everything is for a reason. Because every time I mention something, something will pop up. It will pop up. I was thinking about the podcast, and I didn't know why I was doing it, but I just knew I wanted to talk. Actually, I just wanted to talk. You know, I just wanted to really just talk. That's where it all
You
came
wanted to
from.
run your mouth?
I just wanted, right? Because
he's like, give me a mic and let me talk to the world.
No,
All I need
because-
is one mic.
That reminds me of
no,
Julius.
because so many years, bro, I didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
I had so much to say, but I never said it.
And that's the thing, bro.
Right? So I'm like, you know what? Once I started opening up, I'm like, yeah, man, I actually do like to talk.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I did. But it was funny because I was driving to work and I was listening to the radio. And one guy was like, you know what? He was talking about how he wanted to be on the radio and be one of those personalities, whatever. And they spoke and they're like, what would you do? And they said, if you want to be a not sports, but if you want to be one of these personalities that's on the radio, there's two things that you can do. You can practice your editing. That way you can get in there because you might have a different job. And the second thing is to do a podcast. Because as you do a podcast, you become comfortable on the mic.
Yes.
You become comfortable on the camera.
Everything's connected because my uncle was saying the same shit to me. Exact same shit. Like he wasn't saying the other job part, but he's saying you're gonna get better with the mic. You're gonna get like he's like sometimes I go into a room and I don't know how to articulate my thoughts. He's like, I say this word, like like this,
Yes.
like that, like this, and you can't articulate yourself.
Yes.
He's like, by doing this, it's gonna just come, which is true,
Yes.
super true.
And it gives you the biggest advantage, man.
Now look at me. Now I'm doing three things at once. I'm speaking, I'm doing this shit, and I'm holding the camera.
That's the thing. That's called leveling up, right? So it's like it's an,
Give me a couple more arms, guys.
but it's an advantage, man.
I'm gonna be Dr. Octavius.
It's an advantage because now, when you go into an interview, you know how to get your point across.
Yeah,
Instead of you going in an interview and being very brief and short,
beautiful.
Right.
Now we got a second shooter. We got a second shooter, everybody.
right? Instead of it being short.
And let me get the shot of the shot. There
my
we go.
goodness, these guys. See, guys, this is the type of stuff I got to deal with these guys, man. Right? I got some clowns with me, So as a viewer, we got some clowns. I'm just trying to be serious, but I got some clowns.
We're
in
just
the
having
background.
fun, man. We're just having fun, man. Yo, the Spider-Man meme. It's the Spider. I'm looking at. It's the Spider-Man.
Well, I'm
Yo,
also joining the fun.
there you go, man.
Yeah, man.
There you go, man. There you go, man.
Get content.
Content king, man. Content king, man. Oh man, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, I do want you to say one thing, Jay, because both of you guys can, because yesterday was all about you guys, and you guys. To be honest, I didn't even get a chance to take it all in because I was trying to make sure everything was going right. But I do know, like, a crater happened yesterday. Like, something magnificent happened yesterday, especially when it comes to you guys expressing yourself. So when the thought came to you guys this morning, when you guys had the conversation, If you guys would put it in a couple sentences, what is this transition? What can people look forward to? And give people a closing statement as we come into this next week, because this episode will be dropping tomorrow, which is Friday. You guys are hearing this Friday 3 p.m. But next episode will drop on Thursday, which will be the last episode that we recorded yesterday.
It may be. We don't know yet. We have to talk.
Okay, we have to talk. But what is this transition? If you guys can, give
Well, Jermaine mentioned it earlier. It's a transition from us to all of you. That's ultimately what we want to do. Is we want to be able to bring people on, tell their story, and give us some jewels, and then maybe we could share some of our jewels with them, and then they could leave empowered like we do every freaking Thursday. So, we woke up this morning. We knew it was special. We knew that we did this yesterday. It happened. And we weren't comfortable with just releasing it and having it get kicked under, just lost in the algorithm a week later, And it's like I was telling Jay earlier, like one of those pieces that go missing out of the Monopoly board game. The family doesn't give a shit. It's gone. No one's looking for it. They're just going to play anyway. And I don't want, the world to move on without first taking in exactly what happened. And what happened was something that is so rare in today's world, which is men's vulnerability or anyone's vulnerability to speak on it. Even women are having a hard time, sharing their stuff. But, if somebody out there can kind of get courage from what we did or what we shared in that moment, I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you're the hardest man in the world, the most gangster in Cuba or Colombia or Brazil or right there in New York or Detroit or Windsor here. I'm telling you, you could be the hardest or the softest. You're all going to need some tissues. It was a serious podcast, and you can't help but to take it all in. So we knew it was special. We knew it felt special. We knew that we could not just release it so quickly. So we just had a discussion, and we started to talk about the possibilities, that we could create out of this. This is an opportunity. We may have been able to create 3 podcasts out of 1, to be honest with all of you.
Facts.
So, this is something big. It's a movement. We're basically starting, and we did it without planning. And when we finally air the theme song, you're all gonna hear shit like that in the lyrics, because it's exactly how we came together. We never foresaw most of this. I would say 90% of this is all on the fly. We don't know. We don't plan. We just come together and we make magic. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah. What I felt after the podcast, because sometimes when it's almost like having a great game. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I wonder what Kobe Bryant was thinking after he scored 81. Mm-hmm. Like that type of feeling. You're like, man, what was going on? Mm-hmm. Like, what were you thinking? Like you were in the zone. And I felt like that was the same thing with us. But I knew it couldn't be rushed. Certain things can't be rushed. Certain songs can't be rushed. Just classics. And what we're creating now is classics. Everything that we're touching is classics. When we bring individuals on, they're going to teach us. That's the beautiful thing. They're going to teach us because they went through something I ain't went through. And I'm going to pick those jewels up as well. And I'm just going to be in the presence of it.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to open this up. Mm-hmm. That's where the transition is happening, is opening it up and bringing others, and not us speaking to the people like we're guiding them. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be like that. Mm-hmm. I just want it to be like we're telling our story, and maybe you can pick something from it.
And we're providing a space.
That's it. So I see that transition where people are coming, releasing, and I'll be honest, guys, just for the viewers out there, it's about to be a movement. All this mental health going on, I don't take it as a joke. 10 years ago, I might have. Oh, whatever, man. Get over that, man. You're being soft. I don't take it as a joke no more. Because certain things you must handle with care. Mm. Certain people's heart, you must handle it with care. Certain people's emotions and what they share to you, got to handle with care. And I'm vowing that if you share what you have to share, it will be presented the proper way. We're not gonna drop the ball on you sharing what's in your heart. So that's where the transition is coming. The transition is coming from less on us and more on you guys.
More for you guys.
More for you guys. More just conversations. So when an individual comes, and I can't wait to the first one because I can't wait to ask them questions of what they felt like when they went through things. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a beautiful thing.
And with that, everyone, that's another episode of Thrive Talks. We'll be back next week, Thursday, 3 p.m.
Love y'all.
Peace.